Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random book reviews from the Overflow Room Annex, the library, which is so slowly coming together. I've got so many books still to unpack. It's like, okay. What can I do, right? Except talk about three splendid books, two of them about Mahler. This is fun. Mahler, An Introduction to His Music by Derek Cook. Derek Cook was, of course, the Mahler guy who put together what is still the best completion of the 10th Symphony. He was really a Wagnerian. That was his thing. He did that, wonderful analysis of the ring that we used to be able to get with the Schulte ring. A wonderful musical scholar and delightful person. And he has some real insights here, which are really, really interesting and worth quoting. I'm going to quote one of them on Mahler's Sixth Symphony. Very, very useful and helpful observation. Let's see, it's on page, let me see. Yes, here we are, page 85. Go to page 85. Mahler's Sixth, he says, was in fact the first genuine tragic symphony to be written. And he's right. The romantic concept of the heroic human struggle against fate, derived from Beethoven's Fifth, is its basis. But Beethoven's struggle has a triumphant outcome, as have those in several of Mahler's own symphonies. The purely tragic concept was first hinted at in Brahms' Fourth, which ends sternly in the minor, but the fierce vitality of the conclusion precludes any idea of a tragic catastrophe. Tchaikovsky's Pathetique certainly ends in utter darkness, but its mood of breast-beating despair is far removed from the objective universality of tragedy. In Mahler's Sixth, however, a truly tragic catastrophe akin to those in Greek and Shakespearean drama is presented with stark objectivity, and woven into it is a hardy-like backcloth of nature, of mountain heights far above human turmoil. This acts as a refuge in the slow movement, but in the first movement and finale as a purely elemental world, indifferent to human suffering. Yeah, that describes it very well, doesn't it? It really does. It's a good book. Small, short, concise, but full of insights. Then we've got Recollections of Gustav Mahler by his friend, the violinist Natalie Bauer-Lechner. A very, very useful book, and it's one of the primary sources for information on Mahler, spoken by Mahler. She basically ran around following him and writing down everything she said. People like that are very useful. They really are. And so, it's fun. I don't know. I could read the whole book to you. It's so interesting for Mahler's comments, but I will leave it to you to read it for yourself, because you really should. It's a terrific book. If you care about Mahler and you're interested in his own opinions about things, there isn't any reason to assume that she colored anything. The only sad thing about this book is that Mahler basically dumped her when he took up with Alma, probably at her insistence. So he stopped hanging out with Natalie, which was a real pity, because Alma's own, Erinnerungen, her own recollections of Mahler are, well, how shall we say, slightly colored by her own personal issues and often highly inaccurate, as it turned out. But last but not least in this little batch, Klemperer on music. Oh, is this fun? Oh, this is so much fun. Shavings from a musician's workbench. Shavings. Okay? Chips. Wood chips. Oh, the heat went off. There you go. It's quieter now, isn't it? This is a wonderful, wonderful book. Absolutely fabulous. I like this. You open up any page and you'll find juicy stuff. Most people think of Beethoven as a melancholy, tragic, gloomy character, but this is a crude distortion. He was, particularly in his youthful years, a happy-natured, cheerful person. The language of the first and second symphonies is unmistakable, and even the fourth conveys a mood of exaltation. At this period, he was in love with and semi-engaged to Therese von Brunswick, who was probably his unsterbliche Geliebte. Yes, the immortal beloved. but it never came to a marriage. It was not until the Sixth Symphony that the clouds began to gather. So there you go. His hearing deteriorated progressively, but he put up a stout fight. I shall seize fate by the throat. It will never humble me utterly. So he's talking about Beethoven, which is rather cool. And then, there's Gluck and Mahler. Oh, Mahler. Yeah. Memories of Mahler. And let's see, talks about Mahler all over the place. Here. Let's see if we can find something juicy on Mahler. I like this. Okay. In the following year, 1909, Mahler visited Prague again to conduct the first performance of his Seventh Symphony, for which he held about 24 rehearsals. Whoa, baby! Can you imagine that today? Today it's like 2 or 3 rehearsals and poof, you're off. His technique was remarkable. Each day after rehearsal, he used to take the entire orchestral score home with him for revision, polishing, and retouching. We younger musicians, Bruno Walter, Bodansky, and von Keusler and I, would gladly have helped him, but he would not hear of it, and did it all on his own. We usually spent the evenings with him at his hotel. He was relaxed and extremely amusing, holding forth uninhibitedly and rather loudly about his successor at Vienna, and declaring that he was even further from Wagner than he himself. Weingartner, who was the man in question, had made such enormous cuts in Die Walküre that patrons in the fourth gallery of the Hofopera had walked out, hissing and booing. Mahler often also spoke at great length about Hugo Wolf, whom he disliked exceedingly. Young puppy that I was, I had the effrontery to contradict him and assert that the Mariengebet, Herr Schicke, was du willst, Lord, send what thou wilt, was very fine. He shot me an angry glance, at which I can only mumble, with all due respect, it's only my opinion. Yeah, cool stuff. Klemperer's, he was one of the guys who was there. He was just there. From the 1880s to the beginning of the 20th century, and then at the Kroll Opera in Germany, doing experimental and modern productions. Just a fabulously interesting musician. Brilliant, brilliant guy. So this is a delightful book. I just want to say it's got a preface by Pierre Boulez, in case you care. And it was published by Toccata Press back in the day. Way back in the day, I guess, because this is a fairly old copy. But I cherish it, and so will you. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.